So you're going to ask me, why am I sitting on the floor? In fact, actually, why am I sitting on the floor? Because the floor's cold. But it's basically to get this thing in shot in the rack. And I've been asked a question about this thing in relation to the USB card that I can't answer without actually opening it up. All will become clear in a minute. But before we get to opening the AKAI S6000 up, we must do parish notices. So if you like the content of the channel and the legacy and new gear that the channel talks about, hit the subscribe icon. If you want to be notified when these videos hit the channel, it's the bell icon's the one you want. If you enjoy the content of this video, you know what, just give it a thumbs up. It really helps. Comments down below. Somewhere on this screen, because I'm not in my normal situation, will be the TMTG community address. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, support the channel, support the production of videos. Also, somewhere on this screen will be the Facebook and Instagram account names. Go over there, hit me up, tag me up, whatever the current phraseology is, and that's where the channel announcements are made. Other than that, back to this video. The thing about changing positions, you have to change the lighting and you have to wait for the white balance to refilter itself. Anyway, I'm not going to sit on the floor for very long because it's cold. But it does allow me to put the AKAI S6000 in shot, which is this cream beastie here. And during the summer, what I intend to do is I intend to retrobite that to bring it back to its sort of luster as if it was new. But at the moment, it's a bit of a dull cream. Anyway, the question that was asked was, what USB card did I put in this AKAI 6000? And I have to be brutally honest and say, I don't know. I went round the back of this machine when I found out that actually this box was here. This is not the box I thought it was, and for some reason I've probably bought the wrong box back from storage before we all went into lockdown before Christmas. Anyway, it's here, so I can answer the question. So as I've been around the back of this and I've had a look at the USB port, and it doesn't tell me what card it is. So I'm going to have to basically crack it open and have a look and see what card it is. And I can't find any photographs. I normally take, when I open these things up, I normally take lots of photographs of the inside of the machine and photographs of the outside of the machine, etc. But for some reason I didn't do that last time I had it open, and I've got to be honest and say last time I had this thing open was about 3 years ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of the rack, I'm going to crack it open, you guys can see inside it, I'm going to take the USB card out, I'm going to take some photographs of the USB card so I can go and look it up and answer the question. So this video is basically taking this out and having a good look at good old nosy inside. And, you know, if you don't want to watch it from now on, don't watch it from now on, but I'm going to do the 2 camera angle. So camera on me, which will be up there somewhere shortly, and the camera up there with the new lighting. So here we go. Let's get this out of the rack over there because it is cold out here, and crack it open. Okay, I think the white balance is going to wipe me out a bit. Let me just see if I can adjust the lighting. Try that. Let's move that one a bit as well. Right, hopefully that's better. Anyway, first thing to do is get this thing out of the rack. My trusty ratchet screwdriver. Make quick work of these. Now, those of you who are astute may have noticed that the S330 has now arrived in here. And this is actually my samplers that I have that are non-keyboard based, with the exception of the R8, and the R8 is in there because basically I didn't have any other racks to put it in, so it kind of ended up in this rack for the time being. So anyway, that's all the screws undone. So what we need to do now is just give it a gentle push from behind, like so. And one of the things you will notice about this sampler is it's rather large. Hopefully I've got the lighting sorted out in here, so you can see this thing. Now, for those of you who don't know what the S6000 was all about, there were two models actually. There was the S5000 and there was the S6000. I'm not going to go into great detail about them at the moment, but they were kind of very similar, apart from the fact that on the 6000 you had this removable display, which allowed you to actually put the display where you were working, and this thing could be sitting in a rack all plumbed into a patch panel. So it kind of made it easier to use, but of course it carried a premium. So the S6000 was more expensive than the S5000. I don't know roughly how many 5000s and 6000 AKAI sold, but there were lots. Anyway, I'm going to take that off and just put that to one side. And then again, with my trusty ratchet screwdriver, there are, in order to get into this, it's relatively easy. There are just 4 screws on top and 1 screw down the back. So let's start. And the reason I took the front screen off is so that I could just pop it up like that. This is the USB card, so hopefully it's coming across on the camera up above. That's the USB card that's in question. So let's just pop this back down, like so. Center it up outside my belly, and off comes the top. I'll just pop this down here. So this is the USB card, and in what AKAI did was they kind of had this thing is really configurable. That's the first thing you should know about the S6000. If you look at it, there's loads of sockets. There's a socket here, there's sockets there, there's sockets down here. There's another socket there for, I think that's the coprocessor if I remember correctly. But there's lots of sockets inside this for adding expansion cards. So you can add in, I've only got this configured with 8 audio outs, but you can actually put another 8 audio, so you've got 16 audio outs. This thing will run 16 audio outs or 16 simultaneous samples quite merrily. You can put another processor card in here, which is what this slot is all about down here. It's very well grounded. There's lots of copper tabs everywhere, and you catch them all the time while you're working in this thing. But in order to find out what this card is all about, what I'm going to have to do is take off this cage that kind of holds all these cards together. And in order to do that, there's was it 1 screw there, 1 screw there, 1 screw there, and 2 screws there. So we'll start with the hardest one, which is this one down here. And we'll deal with this one. Now this one actually holds is attached to this card here. It holds this card absolutely firmly in place and into the it looks like a VESA port, but I don't know whether it is VESA technology or not, but it holds it very squarely into the expansion slot, and it basically says standard list slot. And I'd have to go and refer to the technical manual to tell you what that actually is and what the slot is. And then it says the next one says expansion slot. So that's where you put the expansion card in. And then we're going to do these 2 here, like so. If I just lift this out vertically like that, that screw at the bottom comes out at the same time, like so. So now I can see what this is, but I am going to take it out. So in order to take this out, I need to spin this around and again up like so, so you can see it. And there are two screws, one above and one below. I've got a feeling, oh, it does. Because I didn't think this was the right bit for this, but it does undo these. So there's one, comes out like that, and then the top one also comes out like so. And then that should, if I pop this back down on the deck, allow me to just pull this out like so, which it does. It doesn't actually tell you very much on the card, but I am going to actually hold the card up to camera. There you go. So that is the USB card that is in my S6000. It comes with a very proprietary interface, which is this interface down here. You don't see that on very many computers. I have seen computers with this interface, but it's very proprietary. And then there's no other markings on this card, which is why I couldn't see anything when I looked at the back of it, and I was trying to work out what card I had in there. But that's the card, and that's how you get into it. And I did a video about putting the card in some years ago, but I don't think I ever showed the card off properly. So if I pop this now back down here, and it self-locates itself, so just gently ease it in there like so. It's gone back, and I will just secure it again like so. And that kind of is the card. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to start the video again, and then I will just give a quick rundown of the back and internals of the S6000, so that those of you who are really interested in it can actually see this on video.